not Jewel, but Pinky Don, beat our asses about Pokemon. We're like, these people aren't trying. This shit needs to be better.
Yeah.
Finally, the wheels fell off that motherfucker, didn't it?
Yeah. Sure did.
Everyone's like, oh no, no, you don't get it, you don't understand.
The wheels fell off like Rock Lee taking off his weights. Like,
yeah, but I mean, not really, because that was cool. This is just sad. This is, you know what this is like? This is like Elon Musk buying Twitter and people realizing, oh, he's a fucking idiot.
mm-hmm.
We just thought he was intelligent. This man is stupid and an asshole.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
but
I believe in free speech until someone criticizes me, then they're banned.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you're kind of a two-faced piece of shit, aren't you?
Yeah, like most of these people who talk about, oh, I believe in free speech.
Yeah, well, they want, basically, it's what they want.
Yeah,
it's what they want. Free speech doesn't mean you're free of consequence. Free speech means you can't go to jail. But if you're on a private platform or a public platform inciting violence, like, you know, if I went on Facebook or Instagram and said, hey, you need to do this violent act against these group of people, that public-facing forum has the right to ban me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm inciting violence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
All right. Well, with that, we will get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody out there in YouTube land. Project Console, episode 54. So you're probably wondering what happened to episode 53. Well, there's a lot of audio issues in that cast, so I had to take it down, unfortunately. But hopefully, right now I'm looking at everything. It looks like all the bugs are worked out, and hopefully they can. Hopefully it'll be smooth sailing. But before we get into our topics, the title of this cast, the title is Another Stupid Award Show. But before we get into our topics, like my panelist member to introduce himself.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Buzzers. Glad to be on another cast.
And glad to have you. So, for our first topic, the Game Awards they're coming up. Who will win, and who really cares?
I think you answered. I think you answered my. I think you said my answer already. I don't really care who wins because there isn't a single game that has come out this year that I really care about. That I'm like, oh my god, everyone has to know about this. I don't really care.
Yeah, same here. And the thing is about this Game Awards show is doesn't make sense. Half the time, like I was watching Spawnwave cast, and he was talking about the year that it was Red Dead Redemption 2 versus God of War. This is 2018, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is just cleaning house. You got all the awards, best voice acting, best this, that, and the third. And then when it came to Game of the Year, God of War won. And you just you throw your hands up and wonder, it's like, what criteria are they working off of? Because you expect the game that wins best audio, best video, best visual, art direction, music. You would expect that game to be the Game of the Year. So it's just like, and
won all that other shit.
Yeah, it's like it seems to be the natural state of things. I don't know if some of these awards are bought or bought. Like I've heard various, like you have in the Golden Globes or the Oscars where people quote unquote buy their awards, or they finagle their way in such a they manipulate things in such a way that the people voting for these awards favor them. I don't know how true that is, but But yeah, I'm kind of curious if Santa Monica is like, okay, we'll buy Game of the Year. We won't buy all these other awards, but we'll at least buy Game of the Year because then we can put that on our game next year, or that can be part of an accolades trailer or something like that.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
can
know.
say, hey, it was nominated for all these awards, blah, blah, blah. And plus, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo help pay for the Game Awards. So, I mean, they got to get something out of it aside from, Jeff Keighley's dulcet voice. Although I bet Microsoft hated that because remember, don't forget, they uh, they paid Jeff Keighley, who essentially Jeff Keighley killed the Xbox One.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, he fundamentally killed the Xbox One.
yeah.
Uh, but what I'll say is, I mean, like I said, I don't really care. I'm not
Yeah,
enthralled with the. I'm just not really enthralled with the Game Awards. I know some people say, "Well, the Game Awards is like E3." No, E3, even the boring E3s were kind of fun. This shit is just underwhelming.
I I tried watching it. I think it was last year. I was gonna stream a little bit of it, and I couldn't do it. It's like this is I can't do it. It's super cheesy. I just feel like
Just one big commercial with a little
it's
bit of gameplay and a lot of commercials.
yeah, it's just one big commercial. It just feels like they're trying too hard. Maybe some people say they're not trying hard enough. I don't know, but for some people they've gotten better over the years, but they need to work on that criteria. They need to
I
either tell.
disagree. I think the first one was good because it wasn't as big as a big commercial. I think the ones after that were just god awful.
Yeah,
It's just gotten more and more commercialized. It feels like I'm watching one big commercial, and not in a good way. It's like when you go to the movies and you get the little, you get the what's it called? You get the uh, the trailers that let you know what's coming up, right?
yeah,
The trailers, and sometimes trailers are good because you might find out about something that you didn't know anything about. You didn't know that this was coming. It's like, oh, that trailer looks interesting. I might go see that.
yeah.
They're showing movies about stuff that not only do I not care about, but I'm like,
Yeah, that's why am I wasting my time with this?
exactly.
Yeah,
Not only do I not care, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
yeah. It's it's like the show's like 2 3 hours long. It's like this junk doesn't need to be 3 hours long. It
No,
doesn't need to be that long.
especially not when you're going to show anything of any real value or importance. You know, just some bullshit, basically.
I mean, every once in a while you'll have a show which you'll have a decent surprise here. It's a decent surprise like seeing Psychonauts 2 get announced, or I know for a lot of people seeing Joker from Persona 5 get announced for Smash. Just the little surprises like that, but other than that, it's just like it's not worth sitting through 3 hours of it. You just wake up the next day and find out, oh, what trailers did they show, and
Like,
just go
okay,
through that.
yeah, I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's. I hope it doesn't become the new E3 because I know that's kind of what people are hoping this becomes.
It's not.
Uh,
That sounds like a curse to me.
yeah, it's just. I, yeah.
It's like it's the new E3. Oh God, don't say that. Please don't call it the new E3 because you know, when E3 was great, E3 actually gave you valid information that could help you. Whereas this stuff now is just trash.
Uh, yeah.
The Game Awards, the first one was pretty good, and after that, it just went downhill. And I stand by it.
And they
And
have
I don't
so
think we need. I don't think we need it.
they have ridiculous awards like they have best like esports gamer or best streamer or something like that. It's just weird. That should kind of be an event all of itself. Something, some kind of award show that's based off of like, tech and gaming influencers or whatever. But yeah, it's weird that the stuff like that shows up at the award shows, and then they have so many awards that sometimes they just completely fly through them. Like, oh yeah, and this award, the best fighting game goes
Yeah,
to
they don't even
like
show it because they.
it's not, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. Sorry.
They should take that stuff out and
Yep.
and just focus on the stuff. Focus on the headliner awards.
Well,
Not
they
even
put
bother with
bullshit
that
in there.
stuff. Yeah,
They put bullshit in there like best pro gaming team. It's like who fucking cares? Like the only people who care about pro video gaming are people who are into pro video gaming, and that's a very small segment. It's the reason why pro video games, like aside from the people who sponsor it for games that are big, like casual people don't want to watch people play Overwatch.
yeah,
Not like people watch football, basketball, soccer, or baseball.
yeah. I I honestly think that the kind of game that you'd probably get, I wouldn't say everybody, but you could draw a large crowd is fighting games because it's
Even then, only people who are ultra fans of. Because, okay, the highest level of fighting gameplay gets to the point where if you got a casual person to watch people play those games, they'd be lost.
yeah,
Whereas even people who aren't fans of football will sit down and watch a Super Bowl and they can follow what's going on.
yeah,
Even fighting games, like I've seen high level play of Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, and it gets to the point where the games, if you're using original hardware, cannot keep up with how fast these people's inputs are. They're stuttering, okay? Not
yeah,
because the game can't handle it, but because the people are playing so quickly and inputting button combinations so quickly.
yeah.
Joe Blow, average casual gamer, would sit down and see that and say, "Oh, the game's broken," and just walk away. They don't care.
Yeah,
There's no video game that people like. Watching people play at high level a game is, unless you are heavily invested in that game enough to where even as a casual observer you have some level of experience with it, like chess or billiards. Like I occasionally I will watch chess or billiards or poker, but the only way you're going to understand what's going on there is if you have some familiarity with the game, and that's a very small percentage.
yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, you got a point about fighting games. Unless you really know what's going on in fighting games, especially like, because obviously they do some weird stuff that would probably make you wonder if the game's broken because that's just how a lot of pro gamers are. They figure out a way to manipulate the game or the
Exploits.
code. Yeah,
Yeah,
to
they use exploits.
do things that
Um,
it wasn't intended to do.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, why would they waste time on best streamer, best internet streamer, shit like that? They gave an award to Greg Miller. Greg Miller, and his former friend who broke up. Who his former friend turns out to be a piece of shit, ultra conservative libertarian. But aside from that, election denier. Greg Miller and his friend, the people who used to work at IGN, they were fired from IGN for taking bribes from PlayStation, from Sony, to give a shine job on PlayStation games.
Yeah,
And they're giving, he's a gaming, I'm like, this man's a fraud. He's a
Yeah.
thief.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. The Game Awards is bullshit. It's been bullshit. It will continue to be bullshit. The only reason the first Game Awards was good was when Nintendo trolled everyone and said, "We have a big announcement," and it was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Oh yeah, I
The only
remember.
thing that would have made it better, the only thing that would have made that better is if Nintendo took the gauntlets off and stopped being bitches and trying to sanitize everything, and they actually injected some real life into the Donkey Kong series. So now, like, Cranky has gone old and senile, and since he's a gorilla, he's throwing shit at people because he's old and in the home, and he escapes. And so the trailer would be Cranky Kong. It's like instead of the what were the villains in the Blizzard gang or whatever. It's just Cranky escaped from the home, and you got to get your dad back and put him back in the home. And the ending has Cranky throwing shit at the camera. A little bit of art imitating life, because some of those old people in those nursing homes, they do that shit. Pun intended. So what I'm saying is that would have been hilarious, and people getting mad. Why they do that? I thought I was gonna get Zelda. They never said they were. They said it was a big announcement. They never said it was gonna be
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
I remember people like Shokio and all those other guys, being like, "Man, look at Reggie's been walking around with like a Zelda pen or a Metroid pen, and they must be hinting at something." It's like, uh, you see this a lot, not in video games, but in like the tech industry too, where people are like, "Oh, look at this! Look at what he said." Like, for example, like with the whole Apple moving to USB C, it's like, "Oh, they're gonna move to, they have to move to USB C because of the European Union thing." They might
Well, no, they just did it in the
not,
European Union.
not necessarily. They could just have a USB C iPhone in the European Union and Lightning everywhere else. So, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and still fuck over the people here. I mean, but here's the thing: if you've been buying Apple products for years and years and paying those exorbitant fees for their, in my opinion, subpar products, you already you've thrown too much. There's an old saying: throwing money after bad. You have thrown so much money into that hole that at this point, if you stop throwing money into that hole, you will have to admit that you're a fucking idiot. And most people have egos; they don't want to do that, so they'll keep on throwing money into the Apple ecosystem because why the hell not?
yeah.
They've thrown so much money, they got to get something out of it. Now,
Yeah.
see, I'm not that stupid. I remember a few years, like 5, 6 years ago, I was like, man, I need to update my laptop. And a friend of mine was like, you should get a Mac. I'm like, okay, let me see the prices. Okay, this is what I need. These are the things I need from a laptop. This is the software suite I need. This is what I'm going to be doing. And I also want to do a little bit of gaming. And I looked at what Mac was going to charge me for something that had shittier specs than what I could have gotten for a PC for literally like 50% less. And I was like, I mean, a laptop PC for 50% less. And I was like, you must be out your goddamn mind. You think I'm going to spend that much money on for just because it says Mac
Yeah, I mean
for
that's the problem.
proprietary everything?
I mean the thing about it, I own a few Apple products, but yeah, you have this cult of Apple where Apple can do no wrong, and yeah, I'm not one of those people. It's like, for one, Apple has a problem with the right to repair. They don't allow you to fix anything,
Yeah,
or
or upgrade,
or
or
upgrade.
upgrade. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like if you have a laptop PC and you're like, hey, they only gave me 500 terabyte hard drive. I mean, a 500 terabyte uh, SD solid state drive on my thing. You can open your shit up and put another hard drive in there if you have the slot for it, or upgrade the shit. No problem.
Oh, the thing.
Do that shit to the Apple thing. If you don't get an Apple branded product, your computer won't start up. It'll block you from getting to the OS. Be like, oh no, there's an unauthorized drive in the system. Take it to a dealership. It's like, what the
Yeah, and if you want a game on an Apple, it's like you're paying upwards to $4,000 with a dedicated GPU. That's, well,
more?
yeah, even more.
It's like
Like,
five. It's like
Even
five
like
grand.
when yeah, when they were with Intel and Intel and AMD, when you're paying a hefty price for very little performance if are getting an Apple just for gaming. You're better
Yeah.
off going the PC route.
I watched a does not compute where this guy basically took the old Mac Pro from like 2013, the Mac Pro that looked like a little garbage can, a little black garbage can.
Yeah,
And that
those.
shit, they were charging people for the base model like $5,000. For the upgraded one that had all the best shit, like $7,000. 2013. I'm like, are you out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, I think
And you
part of
couldn't upgrade it. It was the form factor was so small that you couldn't put new shit in. It had you couldn't upgrade it. You couldn't put new parts into it. I'm like,
well,
and then you got these dumb motherfuckers. Oh, Mac's the best. Well, I mean, if you like your wallet getting raped, okay.
I mean, Johnny I was like when he was working at Apple, he was like the designer, and the problem then, you know, with their design is it was more form over function. So you would have a pro laptop with with Intel chips that could you know heat your whole house in this thin little chassis, and it's just kind of like how in the heck how in the hell did anybody sign off on this? Like this thing, like pros don't care about size. They care about performance. Like you can't. How are you gonna call this a pro product? But yet you're too worried. You're worried more about form than actual function. Like this thing, you know, should also be a good performer. Now they've kind of sort of learned their lesson, but yeah, that was pretty bad. I remember people talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I mean, I've
Sorry
said this
about that.
before. I mean, I've said this before. Um, like, but bringing it back to the main topic, essentially speaking, just the Game Awards are bullshit. They could be pared down. The Game Awards should be no longer than an hour, maybe an hour 30. But they have so many awards for so much bullshit that doesn't matter. They want to like Jeff Keighley wants it to be E3, but here's the thing: E3 wasn't just the like E3, what we saw watching E3. That was a very small part of it. The vast majority of E3 was backdoor deals, companies and studios meeting, developers meeting with their compatriots to get shit done. That's
Yeah,
what E3 was about.
yeah,
What we saw commercially was a very small part of it. And that's where, some of the really cool shit happened. You can't do that with the Game Awards because the Game Awards is just one big goddamn commercial.
yeah,
Take something that was only 30% of E3 and then blow that shit up so that it's like, you know, 85% of the thing. And it's like, this is just one big damn commercial.
yeah,
And here's the thing, half the shit they show at the Game Awards, you already know about if you're familiar with the video game industry. They already announced it. There's no
yeah,
real surprises there.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly.
that's my
Yeah.
thoughts. I could be wrong. I'm just some guy. What do I know?
Um. Oh yeah. So, anything else you'd like to say before we move on to the next topic?
Um, no, just that. That's all I had to say.
So, Sony might be trying to. There's speculation that Sony might be trying to embrace NFTs. There's a patent was that was found that was once you heard described, it suspiciously sounds like NFTs. I know people were worried about their collectibles that were their digital collectibles that they were. I think it was called PlayStation Stars or something like that. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
special rewards program. where you could get these digital statues, and people were worried that they were NFTs, but um, Sony's like, no, they're not NFTs. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. But they have their headset, and so they probably want to create some sort of unified game for their headset where people could trade various things and interact with each other, and probably create some kind of little economy within that particular world. Uh, what do you think?
What do I think? I think if Sony is still going through with NFT and blockchain and all that shit after the dumpster fire, and not just a normal dumpster fire. I mean, someone took some old diapers, some those baggies people used to pick up dog doo doo with, threw that in there. Took some. I don't know if you've ever smelt this, but have you ever had some flowers, some fresh flowers that you put in your house, and maybe you went on a vacation, or someone in your family went on vacation, or you house set someone's house where they had some fresh flowers and they'd been there for a while, and they started to rot. The
Yeah.
smell of rotted vegetation in a
Oh yeah.
stagnant container. It's
Yeah.
one of the most malodorous. I mean, it stinks to high heaven. Take
Yeah.
that odor, the diapers, the and I don't mean diapers when a baby is a newborn and it doesn't have the poop smell in it. I mean, like, it's like this is a
Oh.
person's dookie. Dog doo
Oh.
doo, the kitty litter, and then light that shit on fire with maybe some skunk musk. That's NFTs. It stinks and it's a dumpster fire.
Wow.
And Sony's like, yeah, let's do that. Why? Y'all would do better just stopping it right now and putting whatever little money that was going there and put it to something else. Because gamers have spoken. They don't want NFTs. People have spoken. They don't want NFTs. Why do you keep on trying to put NFTs into the thing when people have said we don't want this?
Please let us stuff this rotten piece of shit down your throat. Please,
Yeah,
we really want to just stuff this poisonous, toxic uh, 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 thing down your throat. Just,
yeah. Have you ever seen Dumb and Dumber?
I've seen parts of that movie. Yeah.
Have you seen the part where the first one where Jim Carrey's character is talking to that lady who is not interested in him at all? He's like, it's like, just tell me that there's a chance, please, the smallest chance. He's like, is 1 out of 100, a 99, like point. She's like, I can tell you right now, 99.99999% chance that I will never go out with you. He's like, yeah. Even
Yeah.
0.00001, I have a chance. I have a chance. That's basically that's how much these look. Stop. Look, the chance at this point, the way NFTs are now, maybe in another 10 years, maybe if you can get banks on board, if NFTs become another form of currency, like an alternate form of currency like credit is in some places, but those are backed by banks. Why would you want a currency that has no backing? Because the money literally means nothing.
Yeah.
It has no value. Okay? That's the problem. Because, okay, look, like the Ubisoft NFTs, remember that shit? Ubisoft was like, they made a game so that they could release NFTs, and then they shuttered the game because the game wasn't very good and people weren't really buying NFTs. But what about the poor suckers who bought those NFTs? The store that value those NFTs is shut down. So essentially, you're holding on to something that is fucking worthless. The piece of paper that you could print out showing you the value of the NFT has more value because at least if you ran out of toilet paper, you wipe your ass with it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? NFTs only have value if the storefront or bank or if the monetary entity behind it stays around. Okay? If the monetary entity behind a bank, behind a currency goes out, that currency is useless. Unless you're talking about a hard currency like gold, platinum, silver. But here's the thing. Those only have value that's attached to them. You can't eat gold. If every economy fell apart and you were sitting on a mountain of gold, but everyone went to a barter system, you could only trade the gold that people actually wanted. If food and clean water and clothes and raw goods like cotton and linen and cheese and beer and labor, like, hey, I'm a logger, I cut wood and I trade my wood to the carpenter who makes product. Like, your gold's not going to be very useful. What the hell am I going to do with gold? I can't eat it. I can't cook with it. You make yourself a gold chair. What am I going to do with a heavy ass gold chair?
Well, the thing is, when I looked into NFTs, it's just like it doesn't seem like it. As far as I know, it's backed by anything except
No, it isn't.
confidence.
NFTs are only backed by the entities that host the NFT.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if the entity that hosts the NFT goes under, like FTX, your NFTs ain't worth shit. You want to know why Gisele Bundchen and Tom Brady got a divorce? Now, I wasn't in the bedroom. I wasn't under the bed. I don't know all the shit that happened. But you want to know what I think one of the major reasons was? Because this motherfucker put all of his retirement into FTX. $650 million.
Oh, so many people.
$650 million. That's over $500 million into FTX.
The heist of FTX makes Bernie Madoff look like he was just robbing a convenience store.
Not really. Bernie Madoff had a bigger Ponzi scheme going.
Oh.
Yeah. It's similar, but FTX, like, I think FTX allegedly did like 6.3. Bernie Madoff did far more than that, like 9 billion.
Oh.
And he'd been doing it longer. FTX was a shorter. The thing is, FTX happened over a shorter period of time. Madoff had been doing this shit because you have to factor in cost of inflation and all that shit. So Bernie Madoff had been running his Ponzi scheme for like 30 years.
Oh, see, the thing is, I started hearing about the Bernie Madoff thing when it all fell apart. Like, I didn't necessarily follow it. Follow it as long.
Madoff had been doing his shit, and plus, people can pretty much can follow the flow of money with FTX. People still haven't found where Madoff hid all that money.
Yeah.
And people say, well, it was a Ponzi scheme. He was taking money from the smaller people and paying off the big people. But here's the thing. He ripped off some of the biggest people in the world, like Steven Spielberg, Kevin Bacon, like people who put a lot of money with him. And here's the thing. If you're stealing money from Steven Spielberg back then, okay, when he was dropping movies like Nobody's Business and making tons of money off the shit, here's the thing. If that's not considered a big fish in your Ponzi scheme, who the fuck was he paying money to on top of that?
Yeah, that's
like, who was higher up that pyramid than Steven Spielberg? So that's where I'm kind of like, okay, if he'd been doing it for 30 years, yeah, I think Bernie Madoff hid that money in other places.
Oh, okay. I mean, he might have hid it in
I don't know where he hid it. I just know that it makes sense that he probably hid it in other places.
You know how people buy ridiculous things, like certain, like watches or certain products. They'll hide their money by that, because billionaires don't necessarily have liquid, just physical cash.
Liquidity,
yeah.
Not all the time.
It's
not all the time. Stuff. Yeah.
So it's like.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm just simply saying that. Ironically, Madoff actually was relatively a little. He wasn't as ostentatious as a lot of people dealing with that much money. I guess because he didn't want the stuff coming down. But really, I mean, like I said, like if you're gonna hide money, and I'm not saying you should hide money, but if you're gonna hide money, the best way to do it is real estate. If you're moving huge amounts of money, like let's say you find a crooked real estate agent and you buy, um, like on paper, you spend $100,000 to buy some land, and then you spend another, $500,000 building something on the land. But in reality, you really spent like 50,000 for the land, and you spend like 250 to build something there. And then that basically the excess money, they take their cut, so maybe like 10% of the original total. So you get 40 back, you get 200,000 back, and that's how you get your money laundered. Plus, you have something of value that is cleaner
Yeah.
that actually
Yeah.
exists. But yeah, jewelry is a terrible way to launder money because
Yeah.
jewelry, as soon as you take jewelry out of the jewelry store, it begins to depreciate. Like if you I guarantee that if you went into a jewelry store, like a high-end jewelry store, and you bought a platinum chain with diamonds for like, let's say
Diamonds are
300.
terrible.
No,
Diamonds
no,
do
I'm
not
just
hold
saying in
value.
terms of, I'm just using that in terms of ostentatious value. three
Yeah.
hundred thousand dollars. You took it out that you bought it that morning. Let's say you went in there at 8, you walked out of there at 9. $300,000, and then you went in the evening before they close. Let's say they close at 6. You went in at 5 and said, "I want to return this." You would probably only get $270,000. It would already have depreciated 10%.
I mean, I find the quote "diamonds are forever." Like just
Mm,
funny, just funny, just because diamonds don't really hold their value. It's not
no. The only
definitely not.
reason diamonds hold the only reason diamonds are valued the way they are is because diamonds are controlled. Basically, diamonds are treated, or the price of diamonds is treated the same way that OPEC make controls the price of oil worldwide, except in countries that produce their own oil, like the U.S., stuff like that. Basically, and even though we control our oil to an extent, because most like 97% of our oil is produced domestically that we use in order for people who use gasoline combustion based engines. Um, like those companies still follow OPEC's lead, which is why when people say, "Well, the price of gas went up and therefore inflation," it's bullshit because in America, most of our gas is produced domestically, and those companies aren't members of OPEC. They don't have
Yeah,
to follow OPEC's pricing standards, but they know that if they change the price of their gas, OPEC will lean on everything else and fuck with them. So really, the problem is just our dependence on oil.
yeah.
But
But
that's neither
any
here nor there.
any case, anything else you'd like to say about the Sony's NFTs before we move on to the next topic?
Don't do it.
And do it.
I mean, Sony's kind of stupid, so they might do it anyway, but they shouldn't. They're kind of
Yeah.
stupid. They're a little stupid. They're dumb. I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm not saying that they're stupid, but I mean, uh, they are dumber than a bag of rocks.
Yeah.
Sony's dumber than a bag
Especially
of rocks.
no, never mind. I'll save that for a free topic. But
All right.
um, creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka was caught insider trading.
Mm-hmm.
The 20,000 or so dollars. Now I don't know the details uh about this, but what's the what are the laws like in Japan when it comes to insider trading? Because I know in this country, if you're a rich politician, like if you're or just
Nothing happens, or they
nothing
get a slap
happens.
on the hand, slap on the
Yeah,
wrist.
yeah. There's a lot of insider trading happening at the higher end of politics and probably even extends beyond politics. You probably have people just of prominence that can.
I mean, they all do that shit.
Yeah,
What's her name did it? Martha Stewart.
Martha
Martha Stewart's a
Stewart,
felon.
Nan-
She's a felon. Insider
Nan-
trading.
Nancy Pelosi apparently was caught in insider
Look,
trading.
man. They look.
Yeah,
Listen. Actually, Nancy Pelosi was not convicted of insider trading. Her husband is accused of insider trading.
he's yeah,
A lot of senators insider trading on both sides of the aisle.
yeah,
Um, I mean, basically, I mean, to be fair, I think there should be a salary cap for you to even run for the House of Representatives or the Senate. In
yeah.
my
Because you
opinion,
can.
I don't think you should. But the opposite is true. The only people who can really run for the Senate are wealthy people. Even Bernie Sanders, it was like, oh, Bernie, he's our friend. He's fucking rich. He's a
Yeah, he
millionaire.
he wants to act like he's a humble communist,
Look,
social, whatever.
the
But he's not.
dude, he made his money writing books.
Yeah,
So he didn't do something, you know, shady or anything, but, um, he didn't do insider trading. He actually wrote a ton of freaking books about it, and that's how he made his money. But he's
he's
still a millionaire. It's like,
yeah, he's
yeah,
got like he's got like two houses.
yeah,
So
but I mean,
whatever.
shit, I have two houses, and I'm not a millionaire.
I guess you don't necessarily.
That's not really that's not a hallmark
Well,
of wealth.
well, yeah, yeah, but he wants to make himself. He creates sort of this persona of being
Not not
humble.
really.
But,
Let me explain it, okay? If you earned $1 million, if you wrote books in order to become wealthy, that isn't generational wealth. That's you earned wealth, over within your lifetime, and you're rich.
yeah,
Okay, you know, you got someone like a Barack Obama, what's his name, uh, Bernie Sanders. They earned themselves up to being wealthy. Shit. Obama was broke until he started writing books. He wrote the first book he wrote. He got his payoff. He paid off his and his wife's student loans.
yeah,
So I can't really get mad at that. um, on the other end of the spectrum, Bernie Sanders wrote some books, and for many years he was poor, or at least like working class, middle class. So, you know, he did. The man does have. He was out there in the trenches for a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna say that he didn't walk the walk. The problem with Bernie Sanders is that Bernie Sanders is he's not very charismatic.
yeah, yeah,
Like here's the thing. Like Bernie Sanders, he's not a very good looking man. He downright, I'd say he's kind of ugly. And while the substance of what he says makes a lot of sense, there's certain things he's right about. His charisma, like basically, Bernie Sanders is like a wizard in a D&D campaign who his dump stat was charisma. So even though he might say, "Hey, don't go in that tower," because his charisma stat is like a 5, with the highest being 18, people are like, "He don't know what the fuck he's talking about." But his intelligence and wisdom level's really high. He knows what he's talking about, but no one wants to hear it because his charisma sucks.
yeah,
Um, and the thing is that unfortunately, like George Carlin said, imagine that if half the people if 90% of the people are really fucking stupid. But the truth is, you take half of those people, and they're even half of that 90%, they're even dumber than that. People are stupid. Okay? People don't like to use critical thinking. People don't like to think of things. People don't like to use critical thinking. They don't like to use empirical knowledge. They don't like to use the scientific method. Logic is behind them. Most people make their decisions based upon their emotional reaction. Okay. Um, People will say, "Well, I'm going to listen. I like this person because they look like someone I could have a beer with," and that's not a good qualification for you to be voting for someone.
Yeah.
Uh, someone says, "Well, I want I want a politician who's not a politician," which to me, I treat politician like being a doctor or a lawyer or a plumber, or a librarian. Would you trust a doctor? Would you trust someone to operate on you who says, "Oh, I never went to medical school. Matter of fact, I don't know anything about medicine." I wouldn't. I'd be like, "How the fuck did you get in this hospital?"
I think it's just bad articulation on their part when they say that, because people are bad at articulating certain thoughts. And it's not
No,
some.
I
It's
think
not.
they're very clear. I think people say that because they are thinking emotionally. Because the thing is, in America, because I'm looking at the statistics, the numbers behind the statistics. In America, most of the people who vote and like not even vote, a lot of people who do things, they do it because of emotional reactions. They are driven by their emotions. Now, being driven by your emotions can do some amazing things. You know, um, sometimes people can do the right thing for the wrong reasons. Um, like for example, it would be wonderful if someone went and let's say someone breaks in and starts shooting up a club. It would be great if someone said, "Hey, this person is disturbing the peace, and I don't want to live in a country where someone can just go and just pull out a gun and start shooting people, all that type of stuff. I'm going to stop them because of that." That's the intellectual, logical way to think about why to stop a mass shooter. But in reality, it's an emotional response. It's like, "Oh my god, this person's shooting," and they just either someone's training kicks in, or they're like, "Oh my god, my friend might get shot." They're driven by their emotions. The problem is that people cannot divorce important decisions from their emotional reactions.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that when some people say this, because I've heard some people say this and explain it. It's like they're not. Well, when some people say they don't want a politician that's a politician, they don't want somebody who's simply an insider, because people feel that
Yeah,
insiders are compromised and
yeah, yeah.
bought out. That's
I understand. I understand that equivocation, but on that side of the standpoint, it's you got to look at it like this, um, or at least the way I see it. When I think of politics, I think of politics or any type of thing where I might not necessarily be part of the club. I have to navigate a sea of like getting a politician is like it's like you're getting someone to navigate your way through a series of islands. Now you're an outsider. You don't know shit about how to pilot that boat. You don't know shit about the various channels. You don't know shit about the waterways. You don't know shit about which territories to cross and not cross. You don't know where the shoals are. You don't know the tides. You are completely unfamiliar. Why the fuck would you trust someone from outside of that area to know how to navigate that shit? I wouldn't. I'd be like, "Oh, so you're not even from this area. You don't know shit about this area, but you want to go in there. You want me to pay you to navigate me to where I need to go?" Yes. No. I might not like this person over here, but they're from here. They know how to navigate it. Um, but I can understand because people get frustrated. They get frustrated and they get caught up in their feelings, as some rappers like to say, and they feel the urge to oh shit. Okay, they feel the urge to they feel frustrated and they think something has to change. But the thing is like I said, you can't let your emotions rule really important shit you need to do.
Well,
Um,
the problem is the uh, the way things are, the way things are presented. It doesn't help. It fuels these emotional tirades that people have.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not like the
that's the thing.
politicians are helping it. They feed
Here's the
off of
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. Okay. I'm just gonna say I'm not even gonna use parties. I'm just gonna use two different candidates. Okay. Right. Let's say you have two candidates. One's really far right. One's progressive. Okay. And a far right candidate says, "Well, the problem is crime in the neighborhoods." Okay. That resonates because it's simple and easy to understand, even though it may be a bald-faced lie, because that probably isn't really the problem. Okay. Uh, the progressive candidate isn't might try and correct that mischaracterization of what the actual problem is. The problem might not be crime in the neighborhoods. The problem might be there is a lack of economic opportunity in those neighborhoods, which causes a rise in crime. People don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear that the reason you have a lack of economic opportunity in that neighborhood is because of years and years of money that should have been allocated to that neighborhood in order to have better education, better economic opportunities was misappropriated and funneled away from that neighborhood or that area. And therefore, that caused a less educated populace and uh, less economic opportunity. I mean, I hate to break this to you, but if you're in a neighborhood where the only people who are making money and making bank are people doing illicit things, if you're a kid, that's who you're going to model yourself after.
Yeah.
And
I think
this
there's
isn't this
it,
isn't a color thing. Go to a poor white neighborhood, same thing.
yeah, yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Back
we
to
got off on
NFT,
a
Sony is
yeah.
fucked up, and the Sonic guy, yeah,
Yeah.
Yuji Naka fucked up. But really, what really happened with Yuji Naka is like I think he bought like I want to say like like 100 like 1,000 shares.
Yeah.
Like it was a very not even 1,000, like 500, 300 shares. The guy who's the ringleader of this insider trading thing, who also worked at Square Enix, he bought like 10,000 shares. I'm like, dude, you
Yeah,
didn't think to like maybe spread that shit around to different people and have them buy the shares and then sign them over to you, because that would have been the smarter move. But apparently,
people.
I guess he thought he wasn't going to get caught.
Well, the thing about gamblers is a lot of the time they don't know when to quit when they're ahead. So
Mm,
that's
I don't
uh,
think this was a gamble, because this was insider trading. That's you're not gambling at that point.
no. I mean,
They knew.
when people are trying to gambling was the wrong word, but when people
Taking a chance.
taking a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took a chance. There's an old saying: the pitcher went to the well 99 times, the 100th time it got broke. Because from what I was able to read, what they did was that they bought shares in the company that's working on the new Dragon Quest game. Once it is announced that that company is working on the new Dragon Quest game, they're going to blow up. So they bought shares before they blew up, so that when it's announced, it would blow up. They would sell their shares and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, so for the police in for the investigators in Japan, they have to prove that Yuji Naka had the motive, the time, the motive, and the motivation to do this. Now, I mean, how would he have found out about this? Well, he worked at Square Enix for a few years while working on that game.
Yeah.
That Square Enix kicked him down a flight. They made him the fall guy for. So he has the
Yeah.
opportunity. He has the motive to get revenge on Square Enix and make a lot of money while doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Um, I mean, because here's the thing. He didn't like. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm pretty sure Yuji Naka isn't balling, but I'm pretty sure he's not making the type of money he wants to make.
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a publisher behind him giving him a lot of money. He doesn't really like he left Sega a long time ago, and since then he's just been kind of ping ponging here and there around, bouncing here and there. So I think maybe he was just like, look, I'm gonna get me some money off of this. I heard a little birdie tweeted in my ear about this. It was that guy, and he was like, I'm gonna get in on this because I need some money, and I just look, I'm trying to get paid. I mean, I think it's kind of sad he got caught. To be honest with you, because I mean, it was like 300 shares. I mean, it's like, I'm like, why did you just go after the 10,000 share guy? Like, and they got him too. I'm like, the 10,000 share guy's way, like, you could explain away getting 300 shares of a company. Like, look, man, I felt like it was a good thing. Whereas the 10,000 share guy, it's like, come on, man. It's like clearly this is insider trading.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's one heck of a situation to find yourself in. But
Yeah, he going. I mean, it's. I mean, do you think we would live in a world where the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog has been arrested for insider trading?
yeah, I
I
saw.
mean, what type of bullshit is this?
Yeah.
What's next? Shigeru Miyamoto's in jail for being a dope dealer. He's like, hey, Shigeru Miyamoto arrested for selling mushrooms. I knew it. He got high on his own supply. That's how he came up with all that shit.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. This is just sad. I just feel sorry for Yuji Naka. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, okay, if you're like, okay, if you do insider trading for like 200, 300, 400 shares, like,
Yeah.
like I don't necessarily think that's a big deal to me. I know some people are gonna get mad. It's wrong. I'm like, if someone told me, hey, this company is gonna get big, and if you want to buy like 200 or 300 shares, make you a little bit of money, or a lot of money, I wouldn't get mad about, just, maybe get like maybe some 5,000, get maybe like, 300 shares. The company blows up, I sell them, make me some money. I'm not gonna get mad. Now, if you're buying like 1,000 shares, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 shares, I'm like, there's some shit going on. There's some shenanigans, as they call it. Let's see, Yuji Naka insider trading.
So
I just want to see the because they had some information about how much it was. Okay. So here's what happened. An ex-Square Enix employee, Taisuke Sasaki, and his friend Fumiaki Suzuki were arrested for insider trading. Oh shit! Oh goddamn! They bought 162,000 shares of Aiming for roughly 47.2 million yen, or $335,000.
wow, they're in big trouble.
Naka spent 2.8 million yen, and it was $20,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so Naka was quite a bit, but still, like $20,000 for an investment is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But okay, like if someone said, "Hey, do you want to invest in something for 20,000?" I could scrounge that together and do it.
Yeah.
Once you get to like 100 grand, it's like shit. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's over that, like, just to come up with to buy some shit. Like, that's probably what triggered it, was when they bought like $162,000 shares.
Yeah.
If Naka had just bought those 20,000, he probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, those other guys are probably in some deep trouble. though. That's a lot of.
There's some deep
That's
dookie.
a lot of money.
I mean,
Oh,
300. I mean, you could buy a house. That's house buying money right there.
yeah,
Not in Japan. Well, not in Tokyo, but in the suburbs, you could get a house for that much.
yeah.
They should have put that money together and bought a B&B.
God dang, is Tokyo that expensive?
Oh
Holy
yeah, and
crap!
Tokyo's like DC. Like, okay, you know how here in America they have 25-year fixed mortgages,
Yeah,
where if your income stays at a certain level and you pay a certain amount on towards the interest and the principal over 25 years or a little bit more, a little bit less, you will pay off your house. In
yeah.
Japan, they have 35 and 45-year mortgages.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, so you want me to pay a bank for 45 goddamn years?
Oh boy.
I don't plan on working for 45 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I looked at my retirement. In order for me to get my full retirement and all my benefits from my IRAs and shit like that, I'm gonna have to work until I'm 70.
Oh wow.
And I'm 36 now.
Yeah.
So 34 years. If I bought a house in Tokyo for 45, I would retire and still have another 9 years. I'd be 79 before I paid off that fucking house. Could you
Oh
believe
man.
that shit?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I hear Japan, parts of Japan, like Tokyo, are crazy expensive to live in.
Yeah, that's why people rent.
Yeah,
That's why people rent because housing is so expensive. But yeah, so I mean that's just that's like in Kyoto and like in the cities, stuff like that, like Hokkaido, stuff like that. If you go outside of there to like the suburbs and the country, you can get a house just like any place else. It's like, but here's the thing, right? It's like here in America, there are places where you can get a really nice house for like $150,000, but you're also 50, 60, 70 miles away from like any type of amenities. You want to go shopping, you're 70 miles away from decent shopping,
yeah, that's the
you know.
downside to it.
And if you're old, like if you're an old person and you get like as an old, like if I was an old person, I retired, would I want to live so far away? Yeah, it's cheap to live there, but like if I'm sick and the ambulance has to get my ass, it's like it's like a 45-minute drive just to get to my old ass. I could be
Yeah,
dead by
exactly.
then.
Yeah,
It's like all fucked up. It's like, man, if you lived in a city or a suburb, we could have gotten your ass to the hospital, saved your old ass. But shit, you all fucked up. But I can't move my left side, and I'm shitting on myself. Well, if you lived closer to a city, could have helped you, but you had to be cheap.
yeah,
But I live like a king in my mansion that I only paid $150,000 for.
yeah, yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to say about the whole Yuji Naka situation?
I got nothing except the only thing I have to say is Yuji Naka. Um, it's just sad. It's sad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's sad. It's just sad. Also, as an aside that has nothing to do with Yuji Naka, well, I'll save it for the free topic. It's kind of funny.
Uh, the so fourth topic is translating is not a science. Um, I bring this up because there's a translation of I think like the one of the head creators of Sonic Frontier, which basically stated that yeah, we're glad to have everybody join in this global playtest, and it was just using the Twitter translator. And
Hmm.
the thing about AI translators is that you get a lot of funny results, especially if you use Google or even YouTube's translator. It's like yeah, there's a lot of nuances and elements that AIs just can't pick up on. And as you
So,
know,
what happened?
um, let's see if I can find the mistranslation. Miss. So yeah, it was. there was this there was this Japanese translation. Um, sorry, there was this mistranslation of a quote by one of the head uh, head creators of Sonic Frontier. That basic the gist of it was that yeah, we're glad to because people read it or when it was translated, it sounded like the Sonic Frontier was nothing more than a like a global playtest, like it was some sort of paid for uh, beta or something like that. So I don't know exactly what the uh, normal translation turned out turned out to be, but it was just assumed that it was mistranslated by the
Auto
Twitter.
translate.
Yeah, the auto translate.
Well, I mean, Sega can't catch a break, can they?
No, no, yeah. So it it's always interesting because I noticed that when people, because this is a problem for a while. People always complaining about translations of various different games, especially with like Nintendo. It's like man, they should, or even sometimes Square. It's like they should have translated it this way. They should make it, as close to the Japanese as possible. And kind of the way I see it is, if you want to get that close to the Japanese uh, version of the game, then I guess you gotta learn Japanese.
Yeah, but Japanese is a difficult language to learn. Who wants to spend that much time on it?
Yeah,
But I get
yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah.
Um,
You're not gonna get a perfect translation.
I mean, I'm gonna make a counterpoint to that. I've played games where they had a official translation,
Yeah,
and then I've played games where I've played the fan translation version, and the fan translation was better.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I agree. I've done that too. Like
like, I've
sometimes,
especially like 16-bit RPGs back in the day. Like, I've played the fan translations of Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy IV, like the uncensored fan translated version of Final Fantasy IV, and it's so much better than the shit we got here, the
yeah,
official stuff we got here. So, you
yeah. I mean,
know, like,
I'm not in complete disagreement with with people. I just sometimes they tend to go overboard. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I've definitely come across fan translations that are way better. Like Final Fantasy VII, you know, being one of them. So yeah, there's definitely problems that occur when translating into English. They'll censor certain things or they'll change certain names or
yeah. Like, I mean, just like I said, I prefer fan translations for a lot of stuff, and I know some people are gonna get mad. They'll be like, "Why you do that?" I just prefer fan translations for a lot of because I mean they overly sanitize some stuff, which I don't like. Um, like okay, like they got rid of in Final Fantasy IV, they got rid of the alcohol, the references to alcohol,
yeah,
and the strippers. These are in the game,
yeah,
and I'm like, let me get this straight. you got rid of the pixelated titties, that you can't even tell that they're naked. Like you have to play the game in order to know that they're naked. It's like, for real, like that. Y'all going what? Yeah, it's. I would like. It's just, you know.
Yeah, but I found the mistranslation. So, um, basically, the translator through the Twitter machine was, "I'm sorry I couldn't contact you because I've been busy since the release date. I'm relieved that the release date has arrived and that it seems to have reached everyone safely. We are checking the opinions of the critics and everyone. As he pointed out, we still have a long way to go, and we take this as seriously as a global playtest." So, it probably wasn't supposed to read like that.
I mean, it doesn't sound that bad. I think people
Yeah,
are overreacting.
yeah,
I mean, I really do think they were overreacting.
yeah, yeah,
Because you pretty much understand the gist of what he's trying to say. I don't think it was a major, like, you know, faux pas.
yeah,
I don't think.
yeah.
But, I could be wrong. I'm just some guy.
I mean, it's basically saying that this is, you know, the Sonic Frontier was this experimental project. I mean,
Maybe. It's very different from anything we've seen Sonic Team release, a 3D Sonic game.
yeah, yeah,
So, to a certain extent, maybe it was kind of something different, a test of their, something different they wanted to do. I don't know. I mean, I personally wouldn't be offended by it because, I mean, the people who are playing it are enjoying it. So, I mean, clearly they're not letting that stop them. Now, it'd be
So,
one thing if they released a game that people were really, really looking forward to, and it turned out to being a steaming pile of dog shit.
so, this is the
Just
topic
pass the ball to you.
this is the topic I've been really wanting to get to. Pokemon, the
Yeah.
new Pokemon game is a broken piece of shit. So,
Yeah, I just,
you want to
I just,
start us off?
I just alley ooped that for you. Yeah. So yeah. The new Pokemon game is a.
As was the case for many amongst my age, I grew up with.
It is a broken piece of shit.
Yep.
There's no other way I can put it. I'm not surprised though because it's a combination. There's two things going on here. Because people need to understand this. Okay. This is not just like I don't want to hear people say the Switch is weak.
Yeah.
Although the Switch is weak. That's part of it. It's also a case of the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Intelligence, Game Freak, not for the last, from the 3DS to the Wii to the Switch, they have not updated their technology in years. They're basically facing the same issue that Bethesda has, where they need to upgrade their equipment. I mean, they need to upgrade their dev kits, and they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Um, like because I said this when they did Sword and Shield. I'm like, why does this game look so fucking basic? You have a console now. Why aren't you pushing the hardware?
Yeah.
You know?
Again, they're not ready for they haven't been ready for console development. I mean, it's I mean it's a shame that they don't have either people there that are knowledgeable enough.
Well, they have the money.
They
They have
obviously
the
have the
money.
money to hire people to get them on the right track pertaining to console development. But,
You want to know who made a great Pokemon for a console, or at least a good template for a Pokemon on console? Genius Sonority with Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness.
yeah, yeah,
Those were like if you took that general template and then expanded upon it, you could have done an awesome 3D Pokemon game. But
Yeah.
instead, what we got with Pokemon Sword and Shield was basically a glorified 3DS game with stripped down features.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear from those Pokemon fanboys, well, they had to 3D model all those Pokemon. Bullshit. Because they use the same damn engine in Arceus.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they have. I'm sure there are tools out there that could help speed up that process of 3D
Don't
modeling.
say AI. Don't say AI.
Yeah,
AI.
right.
What's it called? AI up. AI upscaling. Because
No.
every time someone does AI whatever, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks weird. I messed around with like an AI art thing a couple days ago. And it just you get really weird results. But in any case, I don't know. Hopefully this is a wake up call, or can become a wake up call. They'll start hiring people and putting money into tools that will make them more proficient at console development. Because you know, um, you can't keep
Well,
getting away with this.
my question is why is this so difficult? Because they had from Sword and Shield, okay, they were learning. Then they did Arceus, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then they did what was the one before, like between Arceus and Sword and Shield? There was another one,
Oh, it was a remake of.
but it
Can't
used the same
remember.
engine as Arceus.
I think so.
Yeah. So they've had two like there's no excuse for this game being the way it is. None. Okay? Matter of fact, Sword and Shield ran better than this game does.
Yeah.
So, like, how are you going backwards?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, but like I said, this isn't just. Look, we dropped some elbows on Game Freak and the Pokemon Company. You know, hit them with a few steel chairs. We gotta drop some elbows on the other elephant in the room, don't we?
What was the other elephant?
The hardware.
Oh,
Because
the
remember,
Switch.
this is a technically first slash second party game exclusive.
Yeah.
The excuse that, oh, this had like 8 9 different SKUs they were working on, like, okay, the fact that that Sonic Frontiers is on, let's see, it's on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PS5, and the Switch. So that's 6 SKUs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking that's a lot. That's a lot of SKUs, and the fact that it's, you know, relatively well polished, 6 SKUs.
Yeah.
You want to know what's running like shit on one?
Yeah. Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
How can you not optimize something for one bit of hard? Yeah, I know the Switch is old as shit. I know that it's 7 years old and it was using technology that was 5 years old then. So really, technically speaking, the Switch is like a 13-year-old piece of a 12, 13-year-old piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So really, I think the real issue is that Nintendo should have splurged for the second higher tier above what the fuck they put into the Switch. Maybe taking a slimmer profit margin, but had a more capable gaming device. Because it's inexcusable that first party games are running like shit on their system.
Yeah. This is pretty. I mean, yeah. This is a pretty sad state of affairs pertaining to this. Um, pertaining to this game to this console because like Pokemon's a premier Nintendo game every year. You know, it's like a for for a lot of people, it's an event, and
Yep.
you know, it
It's Nintendo's Dragon Quest slash Final Fantasy.
yeah, it's a big, and you know, this is a big black eye to
Game Freak.
on the series. Yeah,
It's a big eye to the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, and they knew that this shit wasn't running well. People play tested this. All I'm gonna say is this: I'm gonna use the same mantra I always say. This shit wouldn't have happened if Iwata was alive and president of the company. This new
yeah,
president is a fuck up.
yeah. This game probably should have been in the cooker for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it should have been
It's a little,
delayed.
little too pink, you know, the meat's a little too pink still.
But they needed to have something out. They were like, we have to have a big game out for the holiday.
Yeah.
Damn the consequences.
Well, hopefully lessons are learned. Probably not, but
Man, come on.
what
Why
can
you
we hope?
even how you even screw your mouth up to say some shit like that, man? And yeah, and someday the ultra wealthy will learn that you can't take it all with you, and maybe they should uplift their fellow man in some way, shape, or form. People will learn to not be dicks and try and dictate other people's lifestyles and let them live whatever makes them happy as long as they aren't hurting other people and it's with consenting adults. That shit ain't happening. Pokemon Company ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what they gonna do? They're gonna pay out some money, and these dumbass Pokemon fans are gonna go out and keep on buying this damn series. Well, maybe the next one will be good.
Maybe they can't screw us over like they did last time. But
I mean, listen. The Pokemon Company has already spent years taking away features, stripping them out. Cool features. I remember they had the cool, like you would give a Pokemon like an X or Y stone, like give it some type of thing to hold, and it could transform into an alternate form. They got rid of that shit. They got rid of the ability to play with your Pokemon, which basically could take and play little games with it, so that would take the place of super training. So you didn't have to do. It would raise the EV, the effort value of your Pokemon, so that when they leveled up, they would get higher stats. They got rid of all that shit. The Pokemon Bank, which used to be a thing you just paid $5 a year for,
yeah.
now it's part of the Nintendo subscription service, that shitty subpar subscription service that they charge you $50 a year for the best version of it, which still isn't really that good.
Yeah.
Man, shit. They ain't gonna learn their lesson. Because that takes effort. And they ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of effort going on pertaining to a lot of these gaming companies. But got any free topics before we close out the show?
Couple. I'm gonna share a picture. This is Aubrey Plaza. She changed her hair to blonde. She looks
Okay.
way better as a blonde.
Yeah.
I thought I'd share that real quick. I was like, oh shit, she looks like a completely different person. Blonde
Yeah.
works for her. That she needs to keep that, cause she looks creepy when she's in her normal hair color. It's like, you look like you're mad about something. I don't know what.
What was her normal color?
I'll show it to you. It's her normal hair color is she looks like this. Here, I'll show a GIF of her in Parks and Recreation. This is where I know her from. The copy image? Yeah, copy image. Shit. Oh. Damn. It's not gonna let me do that. Okay. Okay, I see what I had to do. Had to copy the GIF link. Damn, it won't let me do it. Anyway, Aubrey Plaza looks like she's mad about some shit. I don't know.
Is her hair like black or something?
Yeah, it's dark colored.
Dark color. Oh, okay.
She just looks like kind of.
She just looks more pleasant.
No, no, there she is right there. She just looks. She looks like
Oh.
she's mad. Like she looks like if she looks like if someone said, she killed her last boyfriend, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never found the body, but everyone knows she killed him. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here's how she looks when she's smiling. She really is not a bad looking person, but in Parks and Rec, she played this very kind of uh, kind of like Wednesday Addams looking person, kind of.
Yeah. That's probably why she looked like that. At least in the show.
I mean, that's how she normally looks. She's not a bad looking person when she's smiling and not trying to look stoic as fuck. But
Yeah.
she looks way better as a blonde though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it could be because she has a head shape that she can wear her hair up and it looks nice on her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not every woman. Look. Not every woman. What they called it back in the day was the Halle Berry cut. Not every woman can wear her hair like Halle Berry with short Halle Berry hair and be like, "Oh, you look great." Not everybody has a head shape like that.
No. No.
You
Not all
know.
girls can get away with that. Nope. Oh, women
You
can
know.
get
It's
away
like
with
some
that.
women. No, go ahead.
Yeah, not all women can get away with the really short hair. You
Yeah.
do have to
Yes.
have a head for it.
Yeah. Some women can cut their hair real short and the shit looks good. It's like, God damn. Way to
Yeah.
go, girl. And some women, it's like, hey, God damn, go get you a wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get on your head. Please do something. Shit. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. You had a free topic you wanted to cover. It was something that you were saving about NFT or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it was.
Um. Uh, Shit. I can't remember what it is now. But I had another free topic just in case I forgot that one.
All
That
right.
is, I came across another video about Japan, the crazy ethic, or crazy work practices when it came to manga, and I was hearing that because they have to pump out a chapter a week, so you'll
What
have
is that? 30 pages?
yeah about that. So so you'll have like there's a situation there's situations where a mangaka or a manga author writer has to they only get like 3 hours of sleep, so they'll take like a half-hour nap every 4 hours or so, because they gotta pump out these chapters, and so a lot of them get back problems. A lot of them end up with
Fucked up wrists.
diabetes, which is kind of weird because a lot of them are pretty skinny anyway.
Because they probably are, their sleep rhythms are fucked up and they're probably eating just terribly.
Yeah, yeah,
Their body isn't regulating its blood sugar levels properly because they aren't getting enough sleep.
yeah. And then what else? I know in the video I watched, the creator of like Hunter x Hunter,
Oh yeah,
he
yeah.
developed
His
some
back was fucked up
yeah
because he lifted a box. He couldn't work for like I think it was like a year, like 18 months. He couldn't do shit.
yeah. So he, you know, get develop some severe health problems,
Mm-hmm.
um, and a lot of the time, some of them will make relatively decent money on a manga, but a lot of that, you got to consider taxes and um, assistance. Because if your manga is good enough, you can you can hire assistants, so that takes some of the
Yeah.
stress off.
Well, I
But
mean,
most,
for them, I think it's the only time you really make money is if your manga gets big and it gets serialized.
yeah,
So like the Hunter x Hunter guy, he had like two mangas that got big like that. It was Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter.
yeah,
And Hunter x Hunter was even bigger than Yu Yu Hakusho.
yeah.
But he was smart. He married a woman who her shit got big, and that was Sailor Moon. Yeah, his wife is the Sailor Moon lady. So between
Oh,
the
okay.
two of them, I think they're pretty good. Yeah, so, see, gentlemen, you people who say I want my wife to stay at home, she's wrong, man. Look, marry you a woman that's got her own shit too. So if some shit jumps down, you got someone who can help you. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Because look, even if you have the broadest back in the world, if you're laid up, look, you don't want your wife in a position where some shit go down. Y'all gonna be out there on the curb together,
uh,
living in the car together. Hey, let's get that van down by the river together.
yeah, yeah. I just find it fascinating, especially with how much popular manga has gotten over the past few years. It's you as either about as popular or more popular than American comic books right now. So figure you figure they'd pay them a little bit more, but
Come on, man.
whatever.
I don't even know why
Well,
I don't know how you screwed your mouth up to say that. They'd pay him more. Man, I remember how I told you that the father of modern uh of modern manga was Tezuka Takashi, and he figured out how to make. He basically used an assembly line to get manga made. And the way his assembly line worked is he would get young artists who could copy his shit. They would basically do like 85% of the work, and then he would go over and do the details, or get like either he would do the details or he would get people directly under him, his understudies, to do the details. Then he'd do the fine stuff to make it look like a Tezuka Takashi. And you might say, I don't know who Tezuka Takashi is. You know Astro Boy, don't you?
yeah,
Tezuka
yeah,
Takashi.
yeah,
Cyborg 009, Tezuka Takashi. Basically, he's the father of modern anime. Like, when you think of the anime shit that makes anime, the big eyes, the head, all that stuff,
yeah,
Tezuka Takashi kind of... Because that stuff was basically came into existence to make... Just like how Disney revolutionized animation to make it cheaper to animate stuff, he revolutionized stuff to make it cheaper and less time for you to make stuff. But anime has gotten so much bigger. What used to be just something in Japan is now hitting so many other places. They have to produce more content, and they just don't have the people. Now, anime is an industry where if they could ever get to the point where they can do computer generated like drawing, and they could make it look like hand drawn, that would save the Japanese anime industry.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know if they could do it, but if they could, that would a lot of people's lives would be saved.
yeah. The problem with and the problem with CGI that tries to do that, it just looks off. Like the CGI that tries to make itself look 2D, it looks kind of it looks weird. But yeah, that would be interesting if they could get to that point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I think that now in America there are because I think Cuphead a lot of Cuphead was the animation, the animated show on Netflix.
Yeah.
A lot of that was made using computer generated animation. It wasn't hand drawn, but it looks hand drawn.
Yeah.
And I think that if they could export that to the Japanese mangakas, it would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Will it happen? I don't know. But
Yeah.
it would definitely save that industry because I like manga. I'm a big manga person.
Yeah. I yeah, I mean I enjoy that stuff too. Got into Berserk last year. Started reading a bit of Akira. I don't read a ton of manga because that stuff kind of, especially like the long running series like your Naruto and One Piece, like it adds up pretty quickly. Yeah, I know you can read free scans online, but I kind of like having physical copies of the stuff. But yeah, it'd just be nice to see some change. I don't know, maybe within the next 10, 20 years with the generation gets older and the older generation dies out, and possibly could see some kind of change. Pertaining to what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say I agree with you. This is one of those things where something has to change. The situation is intolerable. Something has to give. You can't have people working themselves to death in order to consume a medium. And here's the thing: they aren't not only are they working themselves to death, they aren't even paid that much. And the manga industry, the anime and manga industry, between the two of them, they make so much goddamn money, and none of that money is hitting the people who are actually working on the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing as the video game industry. You would think if you're in the video game industry and you made video games, you should be allowed. You should be allowed to friggin' make what's it called? You should get a piece. You should at least get residuals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
And this is everyone. This is Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. Like if you made Halo, if you are part of the original people who came up with that video game concept, you should be getting residuals in perpetuity as long as that series is being sold.
Yeah, I mean, programmers, I'm sure, aren't necessarily getting paid as much as you probably think they are. But yeah. Yeah, it's just I bring this topic up again just because I find it fascinating because you think these people are getting treated pretty on the outside looking in you think these people might actually be getting treated well just because of how successful a lot of these products are, but unfortunately they're not. So. Anyway, do you got any other free topics? Before we
Only thing I have left. Well, the only thing I have left is I thought I'd share just one last image of a big ass fish some guy caught.
Wow.
That is a hybrid between a koi and a goldfish.
Oh wow!
Because goldfish are actually they can grow huge. It's just people keep them in little tanks and they die because goldfish they pee a lot. So what they wind up doing is like if you have a goldfish, you have to give them a very large tank. You can't keep them in a little like bowl or whatever. But that is a big, and that is a female, and that is a big bitch right there, boy. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm just gonna reiterate what you said in your free topic. you cannot have an industry where a lot of people at the top are making a huge sum of money and people at the bottom are making jack squat.
Yeah.
Like you just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So
But
that's it. That's all I have to say.
in any case, we'll end the show. We'll end the show here. Like would you like to pimp out your cast?
This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Please join us tomorrow where we will be talking about trusting the process. Sometimes, like a lot of people get mad at processes, but processes work. They're there for a reason, and sometimes you just have to trust the process. As far as we also are gonna, if you thought we were dropping some elbows and hitting the Pokemon Company and Nintendo with aluminum chairs, steel chairs today, we're gonna do it tomorrow too. Because we got to talk about this. Look, listen. Some people say I hate to say that I was right, but I don't hate to say I was right. I love being right. I love to say it. I was right. We were right. We told everyone about this. We've been talking about this for years, and we're gonna crow about it tomorrow as well.
There's plenty of gotta have our bucket of we gotta have a bucket of fried crow for him with what was it, the 18 different herbs and spices like KFC.
Fried crow.
Yeah,
that's some good herbs and spices. Now I'm not giving them any herbs and spices because they stole those herbs and spices. Make it taste good. They stole those herbs and spices from slaves. No, they don't. You got to eat raw crow, roadkill, side of the road. Maybe some maggots laid some. Maybe some flies laid some eggs on it. And you poked it with a stick. Some of them were whirling around. You got to eat that crow.
Sorry, I mean, he's no mercy. I was trying to show a little bit of mercy, but
no. Okay, if this was something that came out of left field and we just told people about it, we've been talking about the Pokemon Company being lazy and the hardware not up to snuff for years now. And people like, oh, you just don't say anything. It's like, okay, all right. Anyway, so we'll talk about that. I'll also pimp out a movie that I saw recently that I thought was pretty amazing, and it's on Apple Plus, which is shocking. Anyway, so look forward to that tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. to 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we might end earlier, or probably earlier, because I know it's the Thanksgiving holiday, or as some people call it, European colonizers murdering the natives holiday. Whatever. Anyway, it's going to be great. Happy holidays. Enjoy life with your family, etc., etc. Peace. Good night.
Later, guys. See you next week.